Hello, everybody. It's great to be here one more time today. My name is Gary Fowler. I'm the CEO, president, founder of GSD, Get You Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in the heart of Silicon Valley. I'm a 17-time serial entrepreneur with several unicorns under the belt. I was on the original management team of Click Software, which is sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion, and also AI, an AI HR tech company I co-founded with Dr. David Yang. We believe at GSD that intellectual capacity is evenly spread, but opportunities are not. So I'd like to welcome all of you to GSD Presents Top Global Startups, where we have an exceptional guest whose career offers a rare perspective on how technology waves are built, not from the applications people see, but from the infrastructure layers that make those applications possible. Joining me today is Angel Cisneros, founder and CEO of Saptiva AI. Long before the world knew WhatsApp, Angel and his brother launched QEBus in Mexico, recognizes that messaging would become one of the defining technologies of the digital era. Rather than competing at the application layer, they built the connectivity infrastructure underneath the messaging revolution. The decision proved transformative. His company grew into the dominant messaging connectivity provider across Latin America, operating in 61 countries and becoming Google's #1 vendor in 21 of them. In a remarkable twist of history, WhatsApp itself became one of Angel's first Silicon Valley customers, running on the infrastructure layer his company built. After building and scale his company into a market leader, the company was acquired by Twilio in 2020. Today, Angel is pursuing an even bigger vision. As founder and CEO of Saptiva AI, he is building what many people believe become one of the most critical pieces of the AI economy, the control plane that enables enterprises, governments, and regulated industries to deploy AI with sovereignty, jurisdictional compliance, auditability, and trust. Saptiva AI is already in production with CAL, Mexico's first sovereign large language model, and Angel is helping shape the future of AI policy across Latin America. Our topic today is architecting the grid, why the control layer is a real moat in enterprise AI. We'll explore why infrastructure consistently creates more value than applications, why sovereign AI is becoming a strategic national priority, how governments and enterprises can safely deploy AI, and why the next trillion-dollar opportunity may not be the AI model itself, but the layer that controls it. So with that, I'd like to bring Angel in. Hi, Angel. How are you today? Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
So, your career seems to follow a consistent pattern, identifying foundational infrastructure before the market realizes it. What do you see in messaging? What did you see back in 2007 in messaging that others missed?
Well, thank you for having me. It's always great to share my journey. What I saw back in 2006 when I started building QEBus was the need to connect and facilitate communication, specifically with students. Back in the day, mobile communication was very expensive, so it wasn't accessible for everyone. I know that in the US, it was different, but let's say if you had a mobile phone, you need a very specific way of dialing. You had to do 045 and then the 10 digits, and they were charged totally different, much more expensive, and you had to do top ups. So it wasn't accessible for everyone. So I especially focused on students because it was more difficult for them to have access to a postpaid plan or having top-ups. So that's when I said, hey, maybe there's something in solving this necessity of communication for students. So that's when I came up with the idea of building a social network of free messaging to students, and hence the name Cubas.
So Cubase launched before WhatsApp became a household name. Looking back, what signals convinced you that messaging would become one of the largest technology markets in the world?
It's a I don't want to say I'm like a visionary, or in the sense that I knew what was coming, but when the back in the day, 2006, just to put people in perspective, that's pre-smartphone, that's pre-iPhone era. The only smartphone that we had was the BlackBerry. Um, so, and emails. But if you remember, or the audience remembers, handheld devices started becoming like really popular, right? With the stylus and everything. So I thought that in that way, eventually we would merge that. It was just something that I thought of, uh, and that everything would become mobile. Because I was a super big fan of the BlackBerry. I still miss it to these days, right? Where you the
I
ability.
like it too. I like being able to type with my fingers. I really
Exactly,
like.
and just tuk, 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 right. So it's like kind of extrapolating that, because my background is a engineer, computer system engineer, not a software engineer. So it was like, okay, there's something that can be done here, and eventually something will happen. So that's why I thought that everything would be mobile. That was my big bet, and we started building. And I said we because my brother, he's my co-founder. I was the technical part. So I was like, okay, we should move to that direction, and eventually something will happen. And it was a big bet, that of course it paid off. I wasn't wrong about it. But it wasn't something that like from one day to the other, right? Or it was a one overnight success, or it was a very very long night, because from the day when I started coding Cubas, that was in like May. So actually, 20 years ago, like May 2006, I started doing that, until we launched in June 2007. I think that when we really started ramping up the business, it was around 2011, I would say. And something that really helped us, and the business in general, was the App Store. When that So it's like at least 5 years. So that's how long it took for the business to actually start getting traction, and becoming something foundational for the businesses to operate.
You often say that the winners own the foundational layer, not the surface. Where did that philosophy come from?
uh that I want to be everywhere. It's like, I think it has to do with the fact that the first company was 100% bootstrapped. So I everything that I developed, I always thought of it as sleepless nights, right? So I didn't think of, okay, I need 10 million, I need 20 million. No, I was like, okay, I need to do that. So I won't be sleeping for 2 months, right? So in that sense, like, I have to put every single factor in my favor, every single thing that I can put value on, that allows me to stay there fighting without the the thought that or someone can come with with funds, with money, or bigger skills to and remove me. So the only thing that I saw at that time where I wouldn't be moved is operating at the foundational part. So I think that lesson I learned it, unconsciously, because I said, okay, if I'm the best at sending messages, I'll be very hard to beat. So I at some point back in the day, I was 100% convinced that nobody knew more about messaging than myself anywhere in the world. I was 100% sure about that because I went all the way to the technical parts and everything. So that made me the best at delivering. At one point we became Google's #1 vendor in 21 countries because of quality. So it doesn't matter how big the application part or anything, it won't beat that foundation that we have built. So from that, I learned it, and that's why I think it's the biggest moat when you're building something. And I think that nowadays you can see it specifically with this new era that you see startups that, oh, we have a company that does agents for coffee shop reservation, or for improving this, and then all these big AI labs come and release just a feature. It's not even a product, and boom, they wipe out all those startups. So that's nowadays, I think it's more the foundational part. It's much stronger argument than ever.
What lessons from building and scaling Cubase ultimately influenced how you're building Saptiva today?
Becoming bringing something of real great value to the enterprises. Um, Also, I think I've learned two things in general. One is basically on what we're building, on the sense of it needs to be foundationally super strong, super sharp, that nobody can come and easily kick you out of the market. That's one, but also on the part of the go-to-market strategy. I think that with Cubas, the journey was from the bottom up, and of course it was the times allow us to do that. Like experimenting, or what I now know it's the product market fit, right? But back in the day, I had no idea about it. So it was okay. Let's focus on this with for the students, and now for the common people, right? Or for then the small business. So that allowed me to do good product market fit, but it wasn't really the target for revenues, for value, all that, right? So then, but that helped us create something of value to go after the enterprises. But once that you build something here so good, so strong, big, then actually it helps go drill down to the rest of the users. So what I learned in the product, that I need to build something that is so good that it can serve the largest enterprise in the world and a single user, without doing more changes. That's something that I learned, and that's something that we're focusing on right now.
So, why do you believe the control layer, not the model layer, is merging as a real strategic moat in enterprise AI?
Because it doesn't matter how good the models are, like the models are here and the compute is here. It doesn't matter if you don't have the tools to implement, to scale it. It doesn't matter like how good the model is. Like, okay, I can't implement AI, I can automate, I can do production AI just by asking, the whichever AI you use. Oh, how can I do this? Yeah, it's fine, but that's for a personal use. I need something that scales. I need something that actually makes my processes the best, because the models, they might be super good, but they're not the best for what I do. I always say that a good analogy is like maybe you have a graduate from an Ivy League, right? And he's super smart, super bright. But if you bring him or her to your office and you do, okay, here's my process, they might be able to figure it out, but maybe someone that has been working with you for 5 years and he doesn't even have a degree will be better at that process, right? So why? Because he lacks that expertise. So that's what the control layer, the application layer, does that. So it allows you to quickly give you value, because that's the real problem. I think that everybody talks about AI, but yeah, but how do I actually get value? I don't care if I just say, hey, I use AI. No, what's the value of it?
Well, that's the problem because these board of directors are forcing the CEOs to do AI, and then there's resistance in the companies. They don't want to do anything, and quite frankly, they don't know how to do it. Even if they wanted to, they don't know how to.
And that's a common problem worldwide, right? We have been doing, discussion. We constantly do workshops, dinners, to get feedback or to listen to clients from all industries. And the single strongest pain point is, how the hell do I implement AI? It's not easy, and that's why it doesn't. A big model, or the best model out there, or the best compute won't make you implement AI. And one of the best validations, and that I love, what happened recently in the past month, is the announcement by OpenAI and Anthropic saying, hey, partnering up with PEs and consulting firms to create new companies to actually go and deploy AI. Because that's that it shows the real pain, the real pain. Like AI currently, I say it's, I don't know, like 90% perception and illusion and 10% reality. So the application layer that we're building, it's what makes that happen. We have this metric called time to value. So we currently do a time to value of 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So you can actually start seeing like real results of AI implemented in your enterprise.
Why do highly regulated industries such as banking, healthcare, defense, and government require a fundamentally different AI architecture?
One, because of data residency, data control. And nowadays, it's like, that data is the real power, right? You saw on the current wars, they were saying, okay, some are targeting data centers or all that, because that's the truth. Nowadays, it's the new superpower. So, in the sense of maybe a bank has their own secret sauce for processes.
Yeah.
So if you share that data, and I think it's more than sharing it outside the world, is that you have no idea where that data is. You have no idea what it's being used for. If somebody is doing, something bad with it, or if it's being used for your competitor for the same purpose. So that's why on the regulated part, it's like, okay, you have to comply to protect the users. So okay, their data won't leave the country, won't leave your facility, because it's not maybe just about the countries. It's like, okay, you have to keep those records on premise. So that's the big thing, and I think we're seeing it more and more. It's just not regulations with laws. It's not a matter of if they're going to happen. It's just a matter of when they're going to happen. So that everybody will have to do that, regardless of the industries, I would say. But for now, regulated industries like the ones you mentioned are the top priority.
What happens when enterprises ignore these control layer considerations and rush into deployment? What's going to happen to them?
I think that's part of on the unknowns at the moment. That not even the authorities or the regulating bodies know what to do. I think it's just part of that discovery that they're still doing. I remember that back in last year, end of last year, it was a big tech event with a couple of VCs present, like big tier one VCs, and somebody from the audience asked kind of the same question you just did to the panel, and this VC said, I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, let's suppose it happens. What will be the repercussions? Now, none. They would just have to come and say, "Oh, oops, I'm sorry." So,
Oh my God.
and I was, yes, I was amazed to hear that answer. But the thing is, it's a reflection of the situation where we are now. Um, but it's I don't think it won't be solved just with one thing or saying, hey, this is the law, the new regulation, and this will solve it. I think it's just a part of an ongoing journey, an ongoing part, to get something, because it's something so revolutionary, something so big, impactful, that it can be. There are a lot of unknowns. I think that's the key. So right now, I don't think nobody actually knows. Even if you saw like, oh, there's a data leak or something like that, you wouldn't even know what to, what to do or how to solve it.
So, if you look at it, could AI infrastructure be kind of strategically important as energy infrastructure, telecom, or semiconductors?
I would say that it's on the same level, and even maybe even um, I don't want to say more important, but I think maybe it'll have more impact in that sense. Like, to me, the way I see AI now, I don't see it as a tech thing. I just don't think it's a. I think now it's an economical matter. So companies, countries that don't have their own AI infrastructure, is a matter of, oh, I'm not innovating. No, it's part of, hey, I'm becoming less powerful on the economic development. So to me, that's the impact. And the infrastructure, answering to your question, is that, yeah, I think it's the infrastructure is at the same level of criticity. But the thing is that with, let's say, with power, electricity, hey, yeah, you need it for, to manufacture or to live or produce goods. With AI is the same thing, but the thing is that with AI you can actually empower all your processes, and exponentially be more productive, something that electricity or telcos don't give you.
You're working with Cal, Mexico's first sovereign LLM. What does that project represent for Latin America?
It's it's proof that we can do things by ourselves, right? um, Basically, I personally, that's the take to me on that part, because there's no way you can compete with all these big foundational models, right? You're years behind, billions of dollars behind, and it doesn't make sense. What it makes sense is to have expert models that are easy to implement, right? So, but it's always on the fact that saying, oh, it's super expensive to train a model. So yes, it is. It's not easy. It depends, right? You can do a fine tune. You don't always need to bring, and I think most of the times you don't need to do your own model. You train your or fine tune your own model, right? So this is more of a statement that we can do our own models. There are other initiatives by countries. Like Brazil has a couple of initiatives for their own LLM. Uh, Recently, there was one released, Latam GPT. But like that model was basically, took, I think, like a year to train, but it needed much more resources from even like hyperscalers, adding credits and everything. And Cal, the model that we built for Mexico, it was fully done by us, in the sense like, hey, we're talking about sovereign AI, sovereign models, sovereign tech, but if we require help from outsiders, then how much of a sovereign identity is that, right? So it was much more of a statement that we can do things our own.
We're coming up to the top of the show, Angel. You've successfully built foundational infrastructure companies across two major technology waves, messaging and now AI. If you could have entrepreneurs, investors, and policymakers leave them with one lesson about which enduring value is created, what would it be?
A lot come to mind, but in essentially being a builder, and a trailblazer, I think is that we need to make policies, and the whole ecosystem to allow more people to build things in the region. And this applies worldwide, right? I think that the innovation comes from people that actually build things. But if there are a few builders, a few founders that build regardless of the ecosystem, regardless of the situation, uh, I'm proof of them, one of them. But it's I want to build a bigger cake, right? So for that, we need everybody doing their own part. So that'll be my advice, like, to be sure that we can do things by our own, that, if we want that'll be the core value.
It's great. Angel, this has been a fascinating conversation. Your journey from building the infrastructure behind the messaging revolution to now helping architect the control layer for sovereign AI offers a unique window on where technology is headed next. I want to thank you for joining me today on my show, Top Global Startups. You you've done incredible things, and the future's in front of us. So we appreciate that. How do people get a hold of you? What's the best way for them to reach out to you?
um X, my handle is just Angel Cisneros, all together, single word. And LinkedIn. I'm not very active, but I always reply when somebody pings me.
That's great. Well, thank you for taking time out of the busy schedule. If you want to stay on for a few minutes after the show, happy to talk to you. And to all of my listeners on the show today, thank you very much. We're now almost 1,800 podcasts reaching 73 countries around the world. Um, my name is Gary Fowler, and I am your host. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy. And I'll be back to you again soon with another exciting edition of GSD Presents Top Global Startups. Thank you. Thank you, Angel.
Thank you, Gary.